Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk about what I believe to be quite a broken, overpowered kind of build for the demo, and translating that into the full game could be absolutely ridiculous. So basically just forms around what mods you get on your armor, and we are going to be using the Technomancer, and we are going to be using blighted rounds, because blighted rounds and twisted rounds, I think for the trickster I believe, are quite powerful abilities for single target damage. But blighted is also a sort of decay toxic, which also spreads to other people, so you can do damage to multiple people at the same time whilst also inflicting toxic on them. So the build that I have so far, and you'll see the footage in the background using this itself, we got blighted rounds down here for the boots. Increases critical damage by 30%. You want to be hitting critical shots and killing enemies with critical shots for this build, so having increased critical damage is obviously very, very useful, so that the last couple of bullets are more likely to kill them if you're hitting criticals. Then we have blighted rounds, trick up the sleeve. While the skill is active, killing shots grant you 30% extra bullets in your mag. So while you have blighted rounds actually activated, until you reload or switch weapons, blighted rounds will stay. So if you're killing with headshots and stuff like that, your bullets will keep returning to the magazine for 30%, which means you can kill quite a few enemies with this build without ever having to reload or lose blighted rounds. Next up, we have blighted rounds spare mag. This skill is effective for one additional magazine before triggering the cooldown. Now, like I just said, once you reload or change weapons, you lose your blighted rounds, but at least on this build with this actual mod, you won't lose it for reloading one time. So you can tear through like 10-15 enemies, reload, and then have blighted rounds again. And if you're killing people with, you know, critical shots and having more critical damage, you'll be able to keep blighted rounds going for as long as possible while also getting loads of kills and just annihilating everybody. Now, the chest piece, no pain, no gain. Blighted rounds, when the skill ends, 40% of the damage dealt by the skill is turned into healing and spread equally among allies. So very good if you're playing in a team, but also really good at survivability and, you know, getting yourself healed up max, so you can just tear through enemies and keep getting healed and keep going. Now, unfortunately, I could not find a helmet with anything for blighted rounds. I don't think one exists in the demo, but for these four, all you're doing basically is getting critical kills. So you're doing more damage with critical shots, you're getting your bullets back on critical kill, you know, you have more magazines to use it in, and then you also get healing off it. So at the moment I'm using this weapon here, Livestock. Reloading restores 72 points of health for each enemy killed since your last reload. So when you're getting that big push of health for 40% damage dealt, you're also reloading your weapon and getting more and more health, so you'll pretty much instantly heal to max when you need to reload away from the blighted rounds, which means you can continue your fights. But what I want here in this slot is the, you know, you gain shield for damage dealt or health for damage dealt, so you can keep yourself going forever and not have to worry about dying while trying to take out a whole bunch of enemies with critical shots. Now, on its own, this is super powerful. As you can see in the footage in the background, there's some bosses that I just kill almost instantly. There's a few enemies that I just tear through. There's some footage where I just tagged a couple of enemies to see how much the toxic was doing to them and how it passed through from one enemy to the other, and you can see that it's pretty consistent damage and just all around a really good build. And this is just one ability. If you throw in the pain launcher too while you're doing things, or the cryo turret, so you can freeze people still while you're inflicting blighted rounds on them, or just, you know, if you're in a panic or you just want to wipe out a whole bunch of enemies, you can throw down the pain launcher. But if we go to the class build, the skill tree, if you were to take this build and obviously also have a mod on a helmet as well for blighted rounds, and you build into this top tree, pestilence is the pestilence, or pestilence is the pestilence, you can get increased weapon damage, obviously very useful just in general, but with blighted rounds you're going to get even more damage. Now, you can choose whatever the hell you want for all the other ones, but if we're looking at specific perks like this one here, exposing toxin, every time toxic is afflicted on an enemy, vulnerable status is also inflicted as well. So when you're dealing toxic damage with blighted rounds, they're also going to become vulnerable, so your weapon damage will go through the absolute roof. And then we have, you know, toxic afflicted enemies last 30% longer, which is also great. You got more weapon damages, and then you can also increase your damage from whichever weapon type you're using. You know, you got assault weapon, you've got snipers and stuff over here. So if you're just using assault rifles, you can build into this too, and then you can have 50% increased magazine size. So when you're using blighted rounds, you have way more ammo to be able to get those headshot kills, and then also reload ammo with the bonus you get from the mod. And then last but not least over here, activating decay increases weapon damage for you and your allies by 40% for 10 seconds. So when you're doing blighted rounds, your damage increases as well. So this top tree over here, and picking and choosing a couple of perks where you can, it's just a ridiculous build. I cannot wait to get my hands on a full build across the board. You know, these little ones I've been just resetting and testing, so I can just see, you know, what kind of the cooldown is and like what kind of the anomaly power increases. So, you know, to actually get a chance to build into this top tree with blighted rounds is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I cannot wait. And this is just like one of the builds that I've been really enjoying. I'm trying to get all the things that I possibly can attached to ability. So like pain launcher, I want to get a slot in every single blue that has pain launcher damage, or you know, it makes pain launcher better, so I can just hopefully I can just annihilate a boss in one hit. But all the other classes I'm enjoying as well. Pyromancer not as much, because I feel like that's going to be real end game stuff to get a really powerful build, but all the other ones I'm having a lot of fun making builds, and I will make videos on them too. Let me know what you think about this video. Are you enjoying all of the different classes, all of the different, you know, mods that you can get on armors and weapons? Let me know what your favorite kind of ability is and what your favorite class is in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.